Okay, so continuing on with part two of, I just stopped and started the recording. Please keep listening. Uh, when I mentioned the modern technology, is okay. They are stealing identities today, and I'm talking about something to witchcraft and Satanism and voodoo that's been going on for centuries. But now with modern technology, they're coming up with ideas and control, and they're going too far. And now uh, they're going to be caught. They have their ways of getting pin numbers and uh, everything. Oh, whew, okay, so they kidnap and torture and they steal identities of those who they're kidnapping, and then they're able to then by volume scrape a little off of unknowing victims they who they hack. They're great at computer hacking, and they have so many people who this and that. So I think they even have uh, people who work for Samsung, the one Samsung store that's over there, the Americanas. Uh, I mean, they're widespread, and they have somebody in every department everywhere. Like I said, okay, there really are as many churches for Satan as there are for Christ. You just don't see it, and it's not talked about. It's kept hush hush. But I'm revealing something that you should not use your personal opinion on disbelieving when the fact really does remain and it's going to surface. So once again, so by believing it, you're saving either yourselves or a lot of people from getting hacked and getting uh, money stolen, and and if you call and once it gets to the the person that that they're stealing the identity from and using a victim that's under torture, they have all their information, so they're using them to hack and using their IP addresses and and whatnot. And so by the time if somebody makes a report or a complaint that they're being that somebody's getting to their debit or credit or whatever, by the time the FBI get if they're even really doing thorough investigations, by the time they get to the person and see that since they're that their identities they'll see that the person, if they don't have priors and they're not wanted, they won't make an arrest just based on somebody's complaint when they don't have actual evidence other than a report, when the police report could actually be the person reporting could actually be the criminal, and they're uh, switching reversing the whole thing, where the police don't really know. So what they'll do is by the time they get to that person who's the name and of the person whose identity is being stolen, all they do instead, they won't make an arrest. They don't have uh, the actual evidence. They have a report. So the most they could do is give that information to the person who's the plaintiff or the reporter, give that information, and then they tell them to that they're going to need to hire an attorney and press charges personally, independently, and that's the most they could do if the person that the stolen identity, if they don't have priors and they're not a wanted criminal. So there's all that, and these criminals know what they're doing and know how to handle that. So they only take and because they're only taking a little bit of money from each person being hacked by volume, that it would cost them a lot more to hire, and they know this, hire an attorney to try to press charges when they don't even know how that's going to go. It's costing them so much money. So instead, they just get new cards, they get new, they start over and then they just let it go, and have to chalk it up to, wow, there's, a lot of people, uh, you know, thieves out there who know how to do it. And that's why right now, like, identity theft is so huge. But um, these these criminals that I'm talking about, they do it, but they're using the craft and they are torturing to get what they want. And as far as the cannibalism goes, why that is necessary and how, that's a big conversation, and we'll get into that yet still another time. So, names. Okay, my ex-wife, her name is Cynthia Keeling. That's her maiden name, Cynthia Elena Keeling. She's 50 years old. She is uh, pretty sure I that she's here in Los Angeles with, with the rest of these uh, criminals, and she is a big part of the plot because they all agreed that I would be the perfect victim due to a list of things in my lifestyle. Just being a loser musician who's, just pretty much. I really don't. I don't have. I didn't graduate high school. Uh, I held a job down long enough with Hertz Car Rental, um, recently, to be able to get my Social Security now. But this is, I'm not going to get too much on my personal. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I just don't want to waste time right now talking about that. We'll get into that into the future. But um, where okay, so and then there's uh, Dara Fortgang, Dara Gabrielle Fortgang, and I don't know if her mother's involved or if her mother's a victim of her bullshit. But Dara is somebody that uh, knew my ex-wife, was best friends with her little sister. I mean, she is like family. It goes way back. And she ended up when 19 years old, I was doing rave techno music, and she does have a really great voice, and she's very good looking. And she ended up being the singer for the music project, and we were gigging. This is all the way back in 1998. And I don't know what she told her mother, but she laid some heavy bullshit on her mom because about the same time as I found the Googly Guru thing on Intellius.com, the reason I was even on Intellius is because I heard these victims saying, Dara is involved. And I'm like, what? I would never have imagined that she would be uh, this evil. Mm, So that's why I went on Intellius and some others to get her. I didn't have her phone numbers, and I called her mom, and her mom was pissed off at. I said, what did I do something wrong? I actually was recording the call, and so I have it, and she goes, yeah. And like, can you please tell me what that is? Because I didn't, and I've never in any way have ever offended Dara in any way. I'm really calling because I'm concerned with uh, with her well being. I haven't talked to her in 25 years, and I just want to make sure she's okay because I have some really heavy shit going on out here in California, and uh, I asked if to please have Dara call me, and I have not heard from Dara, and now I know for a fact that Dara is deeply, deeply involved in this occult, and they're all involved in murder. And so we have Dara, we have Cindy. These are people that I am personally connected with, and even some people from Florida, some other people from Florida. Marnie Ajaro. I don't know exactly how to pronounce her last name, which is Araujo. That's and then her that's her maiden name, and Marnie Mugford. wait, Mugford. No, yeah, Mugford. She also will is on Intellius, uh, and um, I'm somewhere around 90% sure that she's deeply involved. But I'm so, but to get there's three names right there. I won't keep going. Then I have to think. Like I said, I haven't been taking notes, but three people that should at least be brought in for questioning. Don't just for questioning separately to make sure stories match. And one thing's for sure is that when that they have to be brought in, those three, once you see that I know what I'm talking about when if I have to take, hopefully I survive if I have to get to these victims. If I get shot up, somebody's got to be there to witness, and then and you'll still see the truth. But if if I get shot up, if they or if the victims don't survive this whole thing, um, their stories could still they still might have ways of protecting a whole lot of evil people. But as long as there's a survivor and the victims, then there's a greater chance that you'll be able to make greater amounts of arrests. Then there's the possibility that some of the perps themselves might want to, if they see this coming, I don't know, they that maybe try to stitch hair to make themselves look like one of the victims in one of the rooms. So like maybe they I don't anything could happen. So of course you want to have forensic scientists on location to make sure that they could tell the difference between victim and disguising themselves to be just like the ones that are real, and then of course the real ones. So that's very very necessary. And I know it's just that it's getting to the point where I feel like I'm willing to take a bullet or two, or I don't know. I have to have the courage to do it because I'm doing all of this, and if I'm doing all of this, and I have to make sure that it's worth it to you because you you're going to change the world uh, by um, giving the benefit of the doubt to the possibility of these victims being real. And that's human respect. If you do not give the benefit of the doubt to those victims, you don't have human respect. And I'll I'm willing to blame that on the manipulated the manipulation of these satanic people who are able to have mind control, but blaming them for your lack of human respect is not going to help uh, anybody. So it's really important that uh, you really, really just have an open mind to the possibilities. Okay, there are things that you're using right now, like your devices. There was a time not too long ago that if you were to tell people about today's technology, that people would say that that's impossible. Then we could go back a few hundred years to the Wild West. And if you were in the Wild West and you mentioned to a cowboy that you have this vision of a metal tube with metal wings that's able to transport 300 people uh, overseas or across the country uh, at rapid speeds, flying through the air, that cowboy most likely would look at you and go, "Now that's impossible, impossible." And if he's an atheist cowboy, he might go as far as saying, "I believe in God." before I would believe that metal tube, what you call it, an airplane? Okay, now that's just a few hundred years. Meanwhile, we go back beyond uh, Christ, and which is thousands of years of human civilization where we did not have electricity. So don't you don't want to. And meanwhile, voodoo goes all the way back in, to those into the beginning of mankind. Starting with medicine men, and then leading to witch doctors. And then Haitian voodoo would be something that uh, would be relative to the fundamentals of quantum physics. So getting back to the human nature of things, today with all this conditioning to your beliefs and disbeliefs is that your disbeliefs is that if you're somebody who won't believe it if you don't see it, that's fine. Yet there's a good chance that you're so conditioned by the world today and taking it for granted that you've lost your fundamental um, uh, human abilities, or the you should be able to understand what I'm trying to say here. And don't forget, I'm winging this. This is all improvisation, and I have no notes in front of me whatsoever. So uh, I don't believe I'm doing too bad of a job at the moment, when I really thought that this was just going to be what was going to be a 2-minute recording has just become a uh, uh, about an hour with put part one and part two together. So with that being said, um, I'm giving myself a headache and I'm getting really dehydrated. So I'm going to end this recording right now, and um, where I'd like to say something witty and um, smart to end it on, but I don't want to take up any more of your time trying to come up with that witty, smart thing. And maybe that's the one. And signing off. Have a good day.